I didn't sign up. I tried to, had to tell me what was out.
In and out, like right now, mange is a bad problem up there. That's what these dogs had. So the new dogs are coming in, and the ones that are coming in get mange. So the Coranda beds are great because they can be just wiped off and reused. And they're like the cheapest that I found are like
So is it like
$30.
a vinyl pillow that you can take?
It's made out of
four rocks and wipe
PVC
off?
piping, and then the top is like I don't want to say canvas because it's not, but it's this material that can be just wiped up with a bleach rag and reused.
So you're asking for a door to be replaced, and what else?
Donations if we can per dog.
What size door is it? I got a door for that.
It's- Todd can tell you that. Todd?
32 inch or 36
I
inch
got a
door.
36 inch.
Is it an entrance door? You just,
It's a metal door.
Okay, yeah.
And it gives me time on the bottom to
We'll
get
get that
through it.
replaced first. Somebody up there all the time? And somebody up there all the time? So it costs $30 a dog to get it rescued, is that what you're saying?
Well, now it costs a lot more than that, because we know that it's a tough situation right now. But if we can even get back towards each dog to help with their
So
shots.
a donation to this lady you're talking about, of $30 for
You can
every
do
one.
that, or we're taking them all through Highlands Veterinary Clinic in Bakersfield. We're just asking for donations that they can send them straight there.
What is Judge Johnson's group doing in Johnson County? Have you worked with them?
Debbie works some with Judge Johnson. She's helped a lot with
They're providing a lot of services.
So do you have an address that you could give out so people could get that address if they wanted to send donations or anything here tonight?
I do, I don't know. Do we have the address to Highlands?
Not
On?
on, but we do have it. I mean, you can, if you can just the Highlands Vet Clinic in Kingsville, I mean, use it. I have worked with Friends of Johnson County and all the different counties, but we are not. They have their own issue with the Johnson County dogs because they go to a dump down there where they hold them, and they have to move those out every Friday or else they get killed.
Yes, but they bought a facility, my understanding, and they're going to open up.
Well, supposedly they're, according to Susan Johnson, the judge, she was signing you all were signing a contract with Johnson County to pick up the Martin County dogs and take them down there when they get their facility open. Right now, they're saying March is a possibility, but it might be in the fall before they get that building open. Because they're still fighting over the property and the building. So in the meantime, I mean, all these dogs are being shot and run over up on different hills and different places and being dumped. And just like the 6 that we've already pulled, I mean, 3 of them are in great homes already, you know, and 2 of them are at my house right now recuperating from injuries.
You have some literature where maybe we could put out the courthouse in various places, just have contact number.
Sure, I can make some and break some back down.
Did you say that dogs from our shelter have been taken up in the hill and shot?
Not from the shelter,
Just right on.
just where they're being dumped
On
out.
Buck Creek Hill is a problem, and they're dumping them there because they know that shelter's right
Who's
there.
shooting them?
We don't know. But there was 2 dogs found dead right in that area. They were shot.
I have for years taken dogs from over here at Martin County and tried to help out, but, you know, a lot of times if you don't move fast enough, other people take care of it in their own way, you know, and it's an ongoing issue here in Kentucky. It's not just, you know, we're not just saying Martin County,
Right.
you know. It can be in any county really, but, so what we're just trying to do is get, you know, help the dogs and give them a chance, and I've been doing rescue now for many years and trying to help move some of these dogs. And last year alone, we moved over 2,000 dogs and cats up to New England area and saved their lives from Kentucky. So, you know, I think we've been doing our best, you know, there's still a lot more that needs help.
Danetta, as you was talking about the dogs, you said they were all in this kind of shape when they came into the shelter, is that correct?
Yeah, these are not staying there and be done at. I mean, what's been there, there's some dogs that's been sitting there since October.
Right.
They're fat. So Todd's feeding them good. It's the ones that these dogs have just came in.
But they all have mange. The ones
They all have
And, you know,
mange.
as you were saying that, you know, I wrote down something here, it's personal responsibility. You know, people need, if they're going to have animals, they need to step up and take personal responsibility for
But it's
their
never
animals.
going to happen though.
It
That's the
doesn't
thing.
happen, and you know, it's a sad situation that people don't take personal responsibility for their
It's not
animals.
the dog's fault. They're the ones that punish.
I take it a little step further,
Human's
you
fault.
know, if you look at our kids in our school system today, you know, over 50% of them are raised by their grandparents. People just don't take personal responsibility, you know, and do the duty that, you know, that they should be doing.
If people would just spay and neuter, there wouldn't be any
Exactly.
You know, that's the personal responsibility that people step up and do the medical part.
Step up and do what's
And
right.
then we
But
would-
instead, they just wanna drop them off, you know.
Yeah, oh, this one's too much.
They
Like
would
the
help
one,
haul or
the one I
whatever.
have, she's a very young dog, but she's had a little injury where both her hips and her back leg have been broken. And people have just tossed her then, you know, and she's a hound. She weighs 24 pounds when we got her on the shelter. You know, she should be 50, you know how hounds should be 50, 60 pounds, you know. I mean, and that's not, you know, not anything that the shelter was doing, that's just how she came in, but she needed some medical care, you know, to get her going, because she would have just laid up there and died, is what the vet said, if we hadn't gotten her out when we did it, so.
Did you say you would like to work on that?
Once you remedy all the addresses and stuff, contact and we'll see if we can get the addresses out. It'll be a point in time that we're gonna have to use.
That's what we're trying to avoid too, and I know that we can't save them all.
You can save them all.
But we can
But
sure
we're
try.
trying, a shot.
But we appreciate your all's efforts too. We're trying to
Well,
do
as
the
I
right thing.
said, it takes more than just a handful, because it's a big job, but the vetting is the biggest thing. They have to be done. They have to be vetted, or they can't move.
And just like these were, the ones that I pulled were a little worse because they had names, so we, on top of the other vetting, we had to do the name stuff, and, you know, you get the itchy, you know, things like that. And, you know, but then they got healthy, and they all went on to good homes, you know, so. I think we've done well so far, and we want to just keep helping out.
All right,
Thank you, Dee Dee and Debbie, for speaking up for the animals.
Thank you, Danetta.
Appointment of representative of the county health department. Fiscal court has a nominee on that, and I'm going to recommend that Christie Grayson be our person. Got a motion, got a second.
I'll second.
Addendum to the sheriff's budget.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we supposed to vote on
We
should.
We're good with that. It's just something
It
about
was
that.
just an entry page. What you saw originally was the total income and the bottom line, the expenses in the bottom net. And that was a central page describing the expenses that was left off the original budget.
Got a motion, got a second?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? County community ordinance, what is that, Rhonda? Martin County Community Government Ordinance, whereas the Martin County Fiscal Court deems it necessary to provide for the orderly succession of the office of Judge Executive in the event of the absence or the disability of the judge as defined in KRS 67.725 when involving a national, state, or local emergency. Whereas under the KRS law, KRS 63.9190, any vacancy in the judge executive is to be filled by the governor. When the vacancy occurs, the county court clerk is responsible to notify the governor of the vacancy under KRS 63.210. The county judge executive appointed in this matter serves in accordance with section 152 of the Kentucky State Constitution. And whereas the line succession contained in this ordinance is to ensure that county governmental officials is available to serve in the absence of disability of the judge executive, the deputy judge executive, or any successor. It is therefore ordained that when the absence of disability of the Martin County Judge Executive Kelly Callahan shall prevent his in serving in the office during a national, state, or local emergency, the duties and responsibilities of county judge shall be temporarily administered by the Deputy Judge Executive Mike Crump, as set forth in KRS 67.730 and 67.735. It is also ordained that neither county judge nor the Deputy Judge Executive is able to serve as office of Judge Executive by reason of absence or disability. Then the duties of the office of the Judge Executive shall be assumed temporarily by a member of the Martin County Fiscal Court, Victor Sloan. Motion.
Motion.
All this is, guys, if we have an emergency, a tornado, and
You kick the bucket.
I kick the bucket, I kick the bucket, one of you guys, I just put Victor in for the heck
One
of
of
it.
you all would do
You
it.
all had to elect somebody to do the duty during a state of emergency.
Well, ain't Mike your deputy judge?
Well, it
It said
says
at
both,
the
it goes to him first and then to you guys.
No.
Motion,
Have it, Vic.
Motion.
second, all in favor.
Who seconded it for you?
I did.
I motion.
I motion, John second. Emergency Management Assistance Agreement, Keenan, you've looked over that?
Yes, we do this every 4 years. That's where a case, if you can't be here in an emergency like you just discussed in the other, you could appoint someone to be your alternate. They can enter contracts and agreements, contact people, state and federal emergency personnel to help come in and try to help us.
So it's all fine, we can vote on it.
Yes, we've done it every 4 years. You have to
Okay.
do it.
Motion,
Motion. Second.
all in favor.
Yes.
Garbage ordinance. We are scrapping the last ordinance that we had our first reading on. We have come up with another ordinance which is several pages long. We will read that in a second. Takes 34 minutes to read it. She's read it once today, and she is going to read it again. So if you could bear with us, it's going to be 34 minutes. If you could kind of keep it down so you can hear what she's saying, and then we'll open it up for discussion.
An ordinance regulating solid waste management, storage, collection, transportation, processing, and disposal. An ordinance pertaining to public health,
bit.
safety, and welfare, regulating storage, collection, processing, transportation, and disposal of solid waste. Providing a penalty for the violation of the provisions of this ordinance and repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith. Pursuant to Kentucky Revised Statutes 224 and 109 and related administrative regulations, Martin County, including its cities, has been designated as a solid waste management area based upon a solid waste management plan approved by the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet, hereinafter referred to as the Cabinet of the State of Kentucky. In addition, Martin County is acting under powers outlined in KRS 67.083.0, which provides the authority for the exclusive management of solid waste by ordinance or contract, KRS 67.083 subsection C and R, which provide authority to regulate and manage public sanitation and garbage disposal service, KRS 67.083H, which gives authority to fiscal courts for conservation, preservation, and enhancement of natural resources, and KRS 68.178, which grants counties authority to license off-site waste management facilities. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court, Martin County, Kentucky, that this ordinance shall be known as the Solid Waste Management Ordinance. The Fiscal Court or its designee shall be responsible for the administrative management of this ordinance and the promulgation of rules and regulations authorized in Section 9. Section 1, definitions. For the purpose of this ordinance, the following terms shall be deemed to have the meanings indicated below. Agriculture waste, a non-hazardous waste resulting from the production and processing of the on-the-farm agricultural products, including manures, prunings, and crop residues. Approved incinerator, an incinerator that complies with all current regulations of the responsible local, state, and federal air pollution control agencies. Bulky waste, non-extrudable solid waste consisting of combustible or non-combustible waste materials from dwelling units, commercial, industrial, institutional, or agricultural establishments which are either too large or too heavy to be safely and conveniently loaded into solid waste transportation vehicles. Cabinet, the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet. Closure, the time at which a waste treatment, storage, or disposal facility permanently ceases to accept waste and includes those actions taken by the owner or operator of the facility to prepare the site for post-closure monitoring and maintenance or to make it suitable for other uses. Collection, removal of solid waste from the designated pickup location to the transfer vehicle. Acceptable collection practices shall consist of the following. 1, door-to-door household collection and/or 2, direct access to a staff transfer facility. Collection box, an unstaffed receptacle utilized to collect municipal solid waste. Commercial solid waste, all types of solid waste generated by stores, offices, restaurants, warehouses, and other service and non-manufacturing activities excluding households and industrial solid waste. Compost, solid waste which has undergone biological decomposition of organic matter, been disinfected using composting or similar technologies, been stabilized to a degree which is potentially beneficial to plant growth and which is approved for use or sale as a soil amendment, artificial topsoil, growing medium amendment, or other similar uses. Coordinator. The coordinator of the solid waste management program of the county shall be the county deputy judge executive unless another is so designated by the Martin County Fiscal Court. County, the county of Martin, Kentucky. Demolition and construction waste. Materials resulting from the construction or destruction of residential, industrial, or commercial structures. Disposal. The discharge, deposit, injection, dumping, spilling, leaking, or placing of any solid waste or hazardous waste into or on any land or water so that such solid waste or hazardous waste or any constituent thereof may enter the environment, be emitted into the air, or be discharged into any water, including groundwaters. Disposable solid waste container. Disposable plastic or paper sacks with a capacity of 10 to 35 gallons specifically designated or designed for storage of solid waste. Dwelling units. Any room or group of rooms located within a structure and forming a single habitable unit with facilities which are used or intended to be used for living, sleeping, cooking, and eating. Generator. Generator. A person by site whose act or process produces waste. Governing body. A county, a waste management district, an entity created pursuant to the Interlocal Cooperation Act, a taxing district created pursuant to the provisions of KRS 65180 through 65192, a special district created pursuant to the provisions of KRS 65160 through 65176, or counties acting under contract pursuant to KRS 109082. Hazardous waste. Any waste or combination of waste which are, because of its quantity, concentration, or physical, chemical, or infectious characteristics, may cause or significantly contribute to an increase in mortality or an increase in serious, irreversible, or incapacitating reversible illness, or pose a substantial present or potential hazard to human health or the environment when improperly treated, stored, transported, or disposed of, or otherwise managed. Household solid waste. Solid waste including garbage and trash generated by single and multiple family residences, hotel, motels, bunkhouses, ranger stations, crew quarters, and recreational areas such as picnic areas and parks and campgrounds. Industrial solid waste. Solid waste generated by manufacturing or industrial processes that is not a hazardous waste or a special waste as designated by KRS 224868, including but not limited to waste resulting from the following manufacturing processes. Electric power generators, fertilizer or agricultural chemicals, food and related products or byproducts, non-ferrous metals, manufacturing foundries, organic chemicals, plastics and resins manufacturing, pulp and paper industry, rubber and miscellaneous plastic products, stone, glass, clay, and concrete products, textile manufacturing, transportation equipment, and water treatment. Key personnel. An officer, partner, director, manager, or shareholder of 5% or more of stock or financial interest in a corporation, partnership, or association, or parent subsidiary or affiliate corporation, and its officers, directors, shareholders of 5% or more of stock or financial interest. Materials recovery facility. A solid waste management facility that provides for the extraction from solid waste of recyclable materials suitable for use as a fuel or soil amendment or any combination of those materials. A multifamily residential unit, a housing facility containing more than one dwelling unit under one roof. Municipal solid waste reduction. Source reduction, waste minimization, reuse, recycling, composting, and materials recovery. Occupant, any person who alone or jointly or severally with others who shall be in an actual possession of any dwelling unit or any other improved real property either as an owner or as a tenant. Open burning, burning of any matter in such manner that the combustion resulting from burning is emitted directly into the outdoor atmosphere without passing through a stack or chimney. Open dump, any facility on site for the disposal of solid waste which does not have a valid permit used by the cabinet or does not meet the environmental performance standards established under regulations promulgated by the cabinet. Person, an individual, trust, firm, joint stock company, or corporation, including a government corporation, partnership, association, federal agency, state agency, city, commission, political subdivision of the state of Kentucky, or any interstate body. Processing. Incinerating, composting, baling, shredding, salvaging, compacting, and other processes where solid waste characteristics are modified or solid waste quantity is reduced. Public nuisance. Illegal waste disposal practices that include but are not limited to open burning, open dumps, or littering which are deemed to be a nuisance under applicable law. Residential dwelling unit, a building or portion thereof providing complete housekeeping facilities for one person or one family. Residential solid waste resulting from the maintenance of dwelling units. Sanitary landfill, a permitted facility for the disposal of solid waste that complies with the environmental performance standards specified in 401 KAR 47030. Sludge, any solid, semi-solid, or liquid waste generated from municipal, commercial, or industrial wastewater treatment plant, water supply treatment plant, or air pollution control facility exclusive of the treatment or the treated effluent from the wastewater treatment plant, or any other such waste having similar characteristics and effects. Solid waste, any garbage, refuse, sludge, or other discarded material, including solid, liquid, semi-solid, or contained gaseous material resulting from industrial, commercial mining, excluding coal mining waste, coal mining byproducts, refuse, and overburden. Agricultural operations from community activities that does not include those materials, including, but not limited to, sand, soil, rock, gravel, or bridge debris extracted as part of a public road construction project funded wholly or in part with state funds for covered materials, special waste designated by KRS 224868, solid or dissolved material in domestic sewage, manure, crops, crop residue, or a combination thereof, which were placed on the soil or returned to the soil as fertilizers or soil conditioners, or solid or dissolved material in irrigation return flows or industrial discharges which are point sources subject to permits under Section 402 of the Federal Water Pollution Control Act, as amended in Statute Book 86, 880, or source, special, nuclear, or byproduct material as defined by the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 as amended in Statute Book 68, 923. Solid waste management, the administration of solid waste activities, collection, storage, transportation, transfer, processing, treatment, and disposal, which shall be in accordance with cabinet-approved county or multi-county solid waste management plan. Solid waste management facility, any facility for collection, storage, transportation, transfer, processing, treatment, or disposal of solid waste. Whether such facility is associated with facilities generating waste or others, but does not include a container located on property where solid waste is generated, and which is used solely for the purpose of collection and temporary storage of that solid waste prior to off-site disposal, or a recovered material processing facility, which is subject to regulation pursuant to Senate Bill 2 for control of environmental impacts and to prevent any public nuisance. Solid waste management plan, the document submitted by waste management districts, counties, or any combination thereof as required under KRS 224.887 and approved by the Cabinet. Solid waste site or facility, any place at which solid waste is managed, stored, treated, processed, or disposed. Solid waste storage container, receptacle used by any person to store solid waste during the interval between solid waste generation and collection, made out of plastic, vinyl, or metal, ranging in size from about 10 gallons to 42 cubic yards in size. Storage, the containment of waste either on a temporary basis or for a period of years in such a manner as not to constitute disposal of such waste. Transfer, the placement of solid waste from smaller collection vehicles into larger for transportation to intermediate or final disposal facilities. Transfer facility, a facility that is staffed during operating hours for the collection and subsequent transportation of solid waste, including loading docks and subsequent transportation of solid waste. Transportation, any off-site movement of waste by any mode and by any by loading, unloading, or storage incidental thereof. Universal collection, a municipal solid waste collection system which is established by ordinance and approved by the Cabinet and requires access for each household or solid waste generator in a county. Waste management district, any county or group of counties electing to form under the provisions of KRS Chapter 109 and operate in conformance with the provisions of KRS Chapter 109 and with Section 4006, Resource Conservation and Recovery Act of 1976 as amended, Public Law 94580. Waste site or facility, any place where waste is managed, processed, or disposed of by incineration, landfilling, or any other method but does not include a container located on property where solid waste is generated and which is used solely for the purpose of collection and temporary storage of that solid waste prior to off-site disposal, or a recovered material processing facility, or the combustion of processed waste in a utility boiler. Section 2, storage of solid waste. Section 2.1, storage containers required. Storage containers for residential solid waste are required if bags of garbage are subject to be torn or damaged by animals or otherwise would create spillage and litter. Storage of waste shall be maintained in a clean, neat, sanitary condition at all times. The containers and their contents must not weigh more than 50 pounds and be configured with handles for ease of handling by one person. The solid waste hauler will have authority to approve or disapprove of a questionable container for storage frames. Oil drums will be acceptable for storage of bags only and must have drain holes. Section 2.2, airtight containers. No owner, occupant, tenant, or lessee of any building or dwelling may leave outside the dwelling or building in a place accessible particularly to children any abandoned or unattended white goods, i.e. icebox, refrigerator, or other receptacle that has an airtight door without first removing the doors. Section 2.3, storage containers not in compliance. Solid waste containers which do not meet the specifications as outlined in this action shall be considered waste and may be collected together with their contents and disposed of. Section 3, collection of solid waste. Section 3.1, county responsibility defined. The county shall provide for the collection of all solid waste generated in the county, provided, however, the county may provide the collection service and access to transfer facilities for the entire county or portions thereof as deemed to be in the best interest of the county. Section 3.2, universal collection. All generators of household solid waste in Martin County shall utilize the collection program provided by the county, which includes door-to-door household collection and or direct access to a staff transfer facility. Commercial solid waste must be transferred by the business owner to the staff transfer facility or the business owner after providing documentation as set forth in section 3.14 may opt to have commercial solid waste picked up by a hauler. Section 3.3, collection points. Points of collection of solid waste shall be from the roadside or curbside within public rights-of-way or other locations near buildings, parking lots, etc. In general, solid waste generated and stored in disposable containers shall be placed along the roadside or curbside fronting the subject property not more than 12 hours before collections. In the event that there are residences inaccessible to collection vehicles as determined by the coordinator, all alternative collection points may be arranged. Section 3.4, bulky items and heavy items. Items too bulky or too heavy to put in storage containers will not be collected by the solid waste hauler. Bulky or heavy items may be dropped off by the owner at a transfer station only during those hours established for that purpose by the operator of the disposal facility to ensure disposal methods will be in compliance with appropriate federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Section 3.5, authority for collectors to enter private property. Solid waste collectors are hereby authorized to enter upon private property for the purpose of collecting solid waste as required by this ordinance. Solid waste collectors shall not enter dwellings or other residential buildings for the purpose of collecting residential solid waste. Section 3.6, collection frequency. All solid waste other than bulky waste shall be collected at least once weekly unless the household has completed the necessary paperwork and has opted to transfer said household solid waste to the transfer facility. Section 3.7, ownership of solid waste. All solid waste must be bagged and then placed in a proper container. All waste and refuse placed for collection shall remain the property of the waste generator until such time as the waste is placed in the collection vehicles. No person shall be allowed to separate, carry off, or dispose of waste and refuse placed for collection, and it will be a violation of this ordinance to do so. Section 3.8, collector's responsibility defined. Solid waste collectors operating within the county shall be responsible for the collection of solid waste from collection points to a transportation vehicle, provided solid waste is stored in compliance with provisions set forth in this ordinance. Spilling or blowing litter caused as a result of the duties of the solid waste collector shall be collected and placed in the transportation vehicle by the collector. Spillage not caused by the collector is the responsibility of the waste generator. The waste generator shall collect and locate spillage in a collection point for the next scheduled pickup. Section 3.10. Prohibitions. The following waste may not be deposited in solid waste containers or receptacles. Hazardous waste, liquid waste, bulky waste, major appliances, furniture, tires, construction and demolition waste, dead animals, any burning or smoldering materials or any other materials that would create a fire hazard, batteries, any other items designated by the cabinet not proper for solid waste landfills. No unauthorized person may remove any item from a solid waste receptacle, climb on or into a container or receptacle, or damage any container. Section 3.11, transfer facility. Household solid waste generated by county residents may dispose of a transfer center. It shall be the responsibility of each household who has opted out of the weekly residential collection to transport their household solid waste to the transfer facility. County will make available to its residents the availability of a transfer station where county residents can bring their household waste. Transfer facilities will be staffed by the county and will be open a minimum of 16 hours per week. Hours of operation will be determined by the county judge executive. Each transfer station shall be staffed by a minimum of 2 attendants at all times. Section 3.12, proof of county residence. In order to dispose of household solid waste at a transfer facility, proof of Martin County residence must be shown in the form of a valid Martin County, Kentucky driver's license or state-issued identification card. Section 3.13, disposal by non-county residents. Disposal of household solid waste by non-county residents will not be accepted at transfer stations unless the waste is contained in a specific bag purchased at the office of Martin County Judge Executive. Bags will be $3 per bag. No county resident may pick up, collect, or transfer non-county household waste without purchasing these approved bags. Section 3.14, documentation. Any person and/or business owner who has their household waste or commercial solid waste collected by a hauler, company, or person who does not dispose of waste at a Martin County transfer station must provide appropriate documentation to the office of the Martin County Judge Executive, which shall include hauler's name, address, phone number, and a receipt for at least 6 months. Upon presentation of appropriate documentation, said person and/or business owner will not be charged a service fee. Section 3.15, provision of information. Every household in the county shall designate the manner in which their household waste will be collected. The county will send out a mailer required to be filled out in its entirety and submitted back to the county. Information contained shall include but not be limited to names of persons in household, whether they pay a water bill, manner in which household waste will be collected, phone number, physical address, and mailing address. Failure to provide this information will subject such persons to the penalties and provisions in the provision in Section 7. The fiscal court or any designates at its discretion can identify said households, and said households shall be billed accordingly. Section 4, transportation of solid waste. All commercial transportation vehicles shall be maintained in a safe, clean, and sanitary condition and shall be so constructed, maintained, and operated as to prevent spillage of solid waste. All vehicles to be used for transportation of solid waste shall be constructed with watertight bodies and with covers which shall be an integral part of the vehicle or shall be in a separated cover of suitable material with fasteners designed to secure all sides of the cover to the vehicle and shall be secured whenever the vehicle is transporting solid waste, or as an alternative, the entire body thereof shall be enclosed with only loading hoppers exposed. No solid waste shall be transported in the loading hoppers. They shall be cleaned as often as necessary to prevent a nuisance, and insect breeding shall be maintained in good repair. Section 5, disposal of solid waste. Section 5.1, open burning. Open burning of solid waste, hazardous waste, tires, or bulky waste is prohibited as defined by KRS 224.005-3 and KAR 63.005. Section 5.2, open dumping. Open dumping of solid waste, including bulky waste and tires on all lands, i.e. roadsides, hollows, rivers, streams, lakes, etc., by any person is prohibited by KRS 224.835 in this ordinance. Section 5.3, disposal sites. All solid waste, including bulky waste, shall be disposed of within a sanitary landfill having a valid permit issued by the cabinet in compliance with KRS 224.830, 224.835, and 224.855 in this ordinance. Section 5.4, hazardous waste. As defined within this ordinance, hazardous waste will require special handling and shall be disposed of only in a manner authorized by state and/or federal regulations. No hazardous waste defined as from a small quantity generator or radioactive waste defined as below regulatory concern shall enter the solid waste stream intended for disposal in the county unless such waste is identified to the coordinator as to its specific source, composition, and quantity. Section 6, service charges. Section 6.1, service charges. The fiscal court or its designee shall establish or approve service charges for each dwelling and commercial unit for solid waste disposal as are necessary to meet all costs of operation and maintaining the solid waste management system. This charge may be included along with the bill for any other utility service or may be billed by a separate bill. All such charges, including subsequent revisions thereof, shall be paid by the resident or owner of record of the property served and shall be paid to the Martin County Water District. All charges or services of the garbage collection and disposal system shall be due and payable in accordance with requirements of the Martin County Water District. The Martin County Water District will provide a monthly statement of the funds collected as well as a check for that amount to the fiscal court. The fiscal court shall deposit that amount received in a general fund of the fiscal court. 6.1.2, for households who have solid waste picked up weekly, the service charge is set at $18 per month. 6.1.3, for households who have completed the necessary documentation and transport their household waste to the transfer stations, the service charge is $15 per month. 6.1.4, for businesses that transport their waste to the transfer stations, the service charge is $50 per month. Section 6.2, low-income assistance. If a household's combined income is less than $12,000 per year, which is verified through the Big Sandy Area Community Action Program, the head of that household shall provide documentation of their approval to the Office of Martin County Judge Executive. Once verification is received, the surcharge for that household is $10 per month. Section 6.3, joint liability. The charge for collection of garbage and trash may be billed either to the occupant or the property owners of the property as reflected in the Martin County Property Valuation Administrator's Office. Both the occupant and property owner shall jointly and severally be liable for said collection fee. It is the intent of this section to make property owners fully liable for unpaid solid waste disposal fees in connection with the collection service for the owner's property. Section 6.4, termination of service charge. The service charge may be suspended upon presentation of satisfactory proof to the office of the County Judge Executive that any such dwelling unit or establishment is unoccupied and receives no utility service. Billing shall be commenced upon renewed occupancy thereof. Section 7, delinquency and penalties. Section 7.1, interest. All unpaid fees shall become delinquent if payment is not received within 30 days of the notice due. Delinquent bills shall bear interest at the rate of the water company delinquency rate. The county or its designee may enforce collection of delinquent bills by bringing proper legal action against the owner or occupant of any dwelling unit or owner of any commercial establishment to recover any sums due plus a reasonable attorney's fee, court costs, and any other costs involved in such collection action. Section 7.2, violation. A violation of this chapter shall be classified as a civil offense except that's provided in 7.6 and enforced through the Martin County Sheriff's Office or as it may be amended. Section 7.3, civil fines. Any person who knowingly provides false information in any document filed or required to be maintained under the solid waste ordinance enacted pursuant to this chapter shall be liable for civil penalty if not less than $50 nor more than $500. Each day upon which a violation occurs shall constitute a separate violation. For a first offense within a 2-year period, a specific civil fine of $25 per day will be imposed for each offense if the person who has committed the offense does not contest the citation. For each subsequent offense within a 2-year period from the date of payment or conviction on the first offense, a specific civil fine of $50 per day will be imposed for each offense if the person who has committed the offense does not contest the citation. Section 7.4, action of recovery. In addition to the civil enforcement mechanism provided for the correction of violations, it shall be the duty of the county or its designee to institute an action for the recovery of all penalties and costs otherwise authorized in this chapter and to bring an action for an injunction against any person violating or threatening to violate any provision of this chapter. Section 7.5, penalties and damages. Any penalties levied or damages recovered under this chapter shall be in addition to any other remedies under federal, state, or local law. Section 7.6, criminal proceedings. Notwithstanding subsections 1 through 4 above, any person who violates any provision of this chapter shall be subject to criminal proceedings, which can be cited by the Office of Martin County Sheriff, and upon conviction thereof shall be subject to a fine of not more than $250 if committed by a person, not more than $500 if committed by a corporation, and or imprisonment for a term not to exceed 10 years. Each day that a violation continues after a citation has been issued or notice has been served shall be deemed a separate offense. Section 8, restrictions of solid waste. The following materials are unacceptable and it shall be unlawful for any person to deposit in any The following materials are unacceptable and it shall be unlawful for any person to deposit in transportation provided by the county unless such container is specifically provided for that purpose. Chemicals, concrete, cement, blocks, bricks, lumber or other construction or demolition materials, dead animals, explosives or other volatile substances, fires, embers, ashes, and other such fire-causing material, gasoline or oils or other liquid hydrocarbons, herbicides, industrial or commercial waste, except as specifically provided for liquids other than those contained in customary household waste, metal or wire in large amounts, motor vehicles, nuclear or radioactive waste, pathological waste, pesticides, poisons, road construction materials, including but not limited to asphalt, gravel, etc., sludge of semi-solid fluids, tree stumps, or logs, or toxic waste. Section 9, rules and regulations. The fiscal court or its designee shall make, amend, revoke, and enforce reasonable rules and regulations governing but not limited to preparation, wrapping, and drainage of garbage deposited in solid waste containers, specifications for solid waste containers including type, composition, equipment, size, and shape thereof, identification of solid waste containers and covers and of equipment thereto appertaining, if any, weight limitations of the combined weight of solid waste containers and the contents thereof, and weight and size limitation on bundles of solid waste too large for solid waste containers. Storage of solid waste in solid waste containers. Sanitation, maintenance, and replacement of solid waste containers. Schedules of routes for collection and transportation of solid waste. Collection point for solid waste. Collection, transportation, processing, and disposal of solid waste. Processing facilities and the fees for the use thereof. Disposal facilities and fees for the use thereof. Records of the quantity and type of waste received at processing and/or disposal facilities. Handling of special waste such as sludge, ashes, agricultural waste, construction debris, bulky items, tires, automobiles, greases, oils, and etc. Said rules and regulations or an accurate summary thereof shall be published 30 days prior to a hearing date for public comment. After the hearing date, a public comment time has elapsed. The regulations so promulgated with the amendments thereto shall be published at least once prior to their enforcement. Copies shall be made available for public inspection in the offices of the county judge executive and the county clerk. Section 10. Prohibited practices. It shall be unlawful for any person to dispose of garbage, refuse, rubbish, or debris by dumping same on any premises in the county with or without the consent of the owner of the premises. Own or operate an open dump. Dump or permit the open dumping of garbage, refuse, rubbish, or debris on any property within the county. Deposit solid waste in any solid waste container other than his or her own without the consent of the owner of such container and/or with the intent of avoiding payment of the service charge herein provided for the solid waste disposal. Fail to have solid waste collected as provided for this ordinance. Interfere with in any manner with solid waste collection or transportation equipment or with solid waste collectors in the unlawful performance of these duties as such, whether such equipment or collector shall be those of the county or those of solid waste collector operating under a contract or franchise with the county. Burn solid waste as defined by KRS 224005 and KAR 63005, including the burning of solid waste in any dumpster or container used for solid waste collection. Dispose of dead animals in any container to be collected by the county and its authorized agent. Engage in distribution of food waste to animals for commercial purposes. Dispose of solid waste at any facility or location which is not approved by the county as permitted by the Kentucky Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet. Engage in business of collecting, transporting, processing, or disposing of solid waste within the geographic boundaries of the county without a permit, contract, or franchise agreement from the county, operate under an expired permit, or operate after a permit has been suspended or revoked, or contract or franchise agreement canceled. And violate any section of this ordinance or any other rule or regulation promulgated under the authority of Section 8. Section 11, public nuisances. Section 11.1, notification. It shall be the duty of the coordinator to serve or cause to be served upon the owner or occupant of any premises on which there is kept or maintained any nuisance in violation with the provisions of this ordinance, and to determine the abatement of the nuisance within 7 days. Section 11.2, noncompliance. If the person so served does not abate the nuisance within 7 days, the county may proceed to abate such nuisance, keeping an account of the expense of the abatement, and such abatement shall be charged and paid by such owner or occupant. Whether a bill for such charges remains unpaid, whenever a bill for such charges remain unpaid for 30 days after that has been rendered, the county may file a statement of lien claim against the property. Section 11.3, penalties. Any person violating any of the provisions of this ordinance or any lawful rules or regulations promulgated pursuant thereto upon conviction shall be punishable by a fine of not less than $25, nor more than $500, provided that each day's violation thereof shall be a separate offense for the purpose thereof. Violators of this ordinance may be issued a citation by the county sheriff or any authorized police officer. Section 11.4, cost recovery. When the county must clean up and remove an open dump to ensure protection of the public health and safety, and when the reasonable party can be identified, the coordinator shall require these persons to reimburse the county for actual costs incurred. Recoverable costs include, but are not limited to, costs for site assessment and evaluation, labor, equipment, disposal, and legal fees. Should other means of collection prove ineffective, the county may seek such reimbursement of funds 90 days following the completion of the cleanup. Such cost recovery should not apply to property owners who are the victims of illegal dumping without their knowledge or beyond their reasonable control. Section 12, Savings Clause. Nothing in this ordinance shall be deemed to affect, modify, amend, or repeal any provision of any ordinance administered by the Martin County Health Department or other department, board, commissioner, or agency of Martin County. Section 13, Severability Clause. The provisions of this ordinance are severable, and if any provisions or part thereof shall be held invalid or unconstitutional or inapplicable to any person or circumstance, such invalidity, unconstitutionality, and inapplicability shall not affect or impair the remaining provisions of this ordinance.
That was 134 minutes.
Thank you so much.
You made the whole news.
What we're going to do now is, that is the first reading of our new ordinance. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open it up for my court clerk to explain how they are going to vote and why they're going to vote there, and then we'll open it up to the folks here in the audience. And I guess we'll just start with me. This ordinance, after we did the first ordinance, we got a lot of feedback from a lot of people. And this by far is not the best for this county. The best for this county would be to franchise the garbage out to a private individual. It would probably be cheaper, but there's no way we could have got the vote for that. It wasn't going to happen. So this ordinance here, you're not going to satisfy everybody. I don't care what you do. You know, the people, you do one thing, the people's going to be, a certain group of people is going to be against it, and you turn around and do the opposite, they'd be the same. But you're not going to satisfy everybody. And this comes closer to what we're trying to achieve is trying to achieve a way to pay for the garbage. This puts the county in the garbage business. We're going to charge a fee. Basically what she read for 34 minutes is basically in a nutshell. If you want us to pick it up, it's going to be $18. If you want to leave it, if you want to be able to use our trash, it's going to be $15. If you meet the criteria through the cap, it's going to be 10. Either way. That's basically in a nutshell. There's a lot of definitions read that has to be read into ordinances. This will be published in 2 papers next Wednesday and the following Wednesday, and the second reading will be set shortly after that. But as far as a vote goes, I'm not going to take a vote today. I'm going to tell you that I will vote for this, and I'm going to let District 3 Magistrate talk.
Well, this part that says county may file a statement of lien against the property, that needs to be removed.
Okay.
I'm not for putting a lien on anybody's property.
I think that was discussed and it
was supposed to be removed.
It was supposed to be, and it's,
Okay.
I was told it's supposed to be took out of there.
it was.
And then also, Kelly said the franchise would be better. I mean, it's in everybody's opinion. Myself, I'd rather go with this route, and then our local people keep their jobs. If you franchise and someone takes it from another county, then they hire their people, and our people don't have jobs. I don't like the price on this. I think it's too high, but we have to do something. We have to do something to cover the cost of the garbage, because we're
too high.
and if coal severance picks back up, I'll be the first to tell you that I will be for cutting the fees, back down. But, and then we did put in, like I said, the low income, if your income is less than $1,000 a month, then you'll get a discount and won't have to pay but $10 per month. And I'm not 100% for it, but I guess I will vote for it because I don't see much option that we have any other way.
John?
Well, I'm against the price. I think it's too high, especially the $18. Low income suits me fine, but I'm against franchising it out. My opinion is if we franchise it out, we get another company in here, they're going to take the compactors out, then they're going to come back 6 years down the road and 4 years down the road, and they're gonna say, well, give us $25 a month or $30 a month, and if you don't, we ain't gonna, we quit, the contract's up. And then we ain't gonna have nowhere to take our garbage if we franchise it out, because the dumps will be gone. That's my opinion. And like Kelly said, the lien was supposed to be, I was told the lien was gonna be took off of this. He said it's his mistake that's in there, so he will take that out.
Yes.
And I also don't think that it should be put on, added on to people's water bills, if that's the case. I don't think it should be added on to
I
people's
think
water
that-
bills because a lot of people's having a problem now paying the water bill, and I don't think nobody's water should be cut off over a $15 garbage bill.
This statute,
I would like to
if you listen carefully, the ordinance doesn't say your water will be cut off if you don't pay it. It's never said that.
Well, I'm glad you made that clear, so they know that
Yeah,
I
I
ain't
don't know
gonna
where
say
they come
that.
from. It's never been.
State law doesn't allow that. Can't do it.
Well, no, it's not in there.
I mean, state law will not allow you to cut off your water for
We
non-collection.
never had it. I don't know where that came from.
Well, then we just need to make sure, if we can't do it, let's put it in the ordinance, that it ain't gonna be done.
It can't, it's not in there. It can't. The law says you can't. That's why it's not in it. It's never been in it. It's never been in it.
You know, I've said in the past, you know, I said in June that I think the best route would be to franchise it out. It would be cheaper for the customers. Even though you franchise it out, we still put what we want in that franchise. We still have total control of what we put out there in the franchise. They don't come in and shut our transfer stations down. They don't come in and take anything away from us. We tell them what we want. And you know, they come in and do what we ask them to do. We can accept or reject anything that we want or, you know, that we ask them to do. It's going to be, to me, franchise is cheaper for the county. It would definitely be cheaper. You still have access to your transfer stations. It takes the politics out of it, except that we have, you know, the last day and everything. If they came back and wanted a higher cost, it's up to this fiscal court to approve that higher cost. They can't come in here just because we selected a contractor to franchise the garbage out and tell us what to do. You know, we are in control here locally, and we would tell them what we want. If they didn't want to adhere to that, then they wouldn't have to take the franchise. We'd, you know, get some other company to do that. So, you know, franchising would be the best. It'd be the cheapest for the residents. You still have a transfer facility that you could access.
One or all of them?
If you wanted all of them, it just cost more money.
Yeah, but we can tell them what we want, but the contracts don't have to take what we tell them either.
Well, that's true. It works in both directions. But if we wanted more, then it would absolutely cost more. There's no doubt about it. But this is a pretty good ordinance. I agree the price is a little high. My mom draws $816 a month. She currently pays $18 a month right now for a local hauler to pick up her garbage. It also provides.
That's wrong, buddy.
It also.
I pick your mom's garbage up every Friday. It's not $18.
How much is it?
15.
$15.
She draws more than $800 a month too. So she said.
She pays $15 a month.
She told me she draws more than $800 a month too. You didn't know what she draws.
$816. She just got a raise, about $19, took it up to $816.
I'm talking about 2 or 3 months ago. She said you didn't know what she draws.
Well, I'm just telling you, you know, there is in here for low income, so that's addressed in here, and I think that's good. You know, we need to address those issues as well. So, and like I said, I would vote for this ordinance if we have a vote today, because we do need to move forward. The last ordinance provided for pickup, but it was weak. This ordinance starts with pickup. We're going to pick up every household in the county. If you do not want pickup, then you opt out of that and you pay the $15. So we're going to start with pickup for every single household in the county. If you do not want pickup, you opt out of that.
That'd be through the mailer.
That'd be through the mailer or coming to the judge's office, whatever needs to be done at that point in time. So that's all I have to say.
Gary.
Well, I start off, I never was for mandatory garbage because You know, they be taking the garbage out of the county, but they also be taking their money and their jobs. And we got all kinds of people out work with us, right, King County employees out. That was my friends, you know. And it don't feel good. And I don't want to see nobody lose their job. And I have talked to some people in my district that get their garbage hauled off now, and it's $20. So, you know, Bill, he hauls on the other side of the hill, and one that did haul, and during, the guy that hauled for them quit, you know. So, the way I look at it, you know, I want $15 because I want to take my garbage off anytime I want to take it. And I don't want people around my house, because my house has been broken into, stole my gun and everything like that, but that's the way I feel. But, and then we would make jobs in the county, and the people out of the county to bring the garbage, they have to pay for it, for a change, you know. And it's a lot of garbage coming from West Virginia, Warren County, Johnson County, which ain't, you know. But that's the way I believe, and I will vote for this, and plus the $10 on the elder, they can opt out too. If they want to take theirs, they can, or we'll pick it up.
I just want to briefly say, I made a mistake not taking that out. That was discussed. Yes. I've seen more ordinances in the past 6 weeks than I ever have in my life.
I'd like to have one more thing, say one more thing, if you're through, Gary. We also, if you pay your fee and you come to your house and pick it up, with ours, you'll be able to take it to the dumpster anytime you want to, free of charge.
Right.
And like with the franchise, like in Johnson County and other places, if you pay for them to pick it up and they don't get it the day that they're there, you have to pay a fee to dump it anytime. This way, anything that needs to be taken any other time throughout the year, if you've got something that needs to go, you'll be able to take it free of charge. It won't cost you like it is in all the other counties.
I got one more thing to say too. I don't think why in the world do we need somebody to hire somebody to check the driver's license at a dump? When you got a man working there, how hard is it to say, let me see your license? Gonna put 2 people at a dump? I mean, I'm for jobs, but I don't think we should create jobs.
Okay, RC Maynard, are you still here?
I left and went home. I still don't understand the ordinance about the pickup and the price. How are they going to collect off
Okay.
individuals?
The collection is gonna be done by the water company, but the water company has decided they're gonna send a separate bill out. So it ain't gonna be on the water bill as of right now.
Okay, if you don't have city water, what happens?
Well, that's what the miller's for people to send in how they want it.
How you going to send it in? I mean, monthly, yearly?
Well, that's gonna be monthly right now, but we're looking at, maybe if somebody would wanna pay it yearly, we could have that option for them.
Through your office,
Yeah,
quarterly or whatever?
yeah, however you wanna pay,
And this going to be picked up once a week?
once a week.
The mandatory amount you can pick up?
No. Pick up how much you ever got.
Is it
Most it's in a container. That's been.
Is this creating more jobs?
Huh?
Is this going to create more
Yes.
jobs to get
Yes.
people out to pick it up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this going to help the seniors?
Well, that's why I think instead of putting 2 at the garbage dump, we put one in a truck and let them do it, we let them work. Instead of going down on the set.
That sounds better than,
Sounds better now, no, Darcy.
I'll go along with that
All right,
myself.
thank you.
Thank you.
Dick Young?
We'll give Keenan's credit for an improved ordinance.
I knew what they tell me. About what they tell me. Think about it.
Couple of questions. You're talking about dumping at any time you so desire, and somewhere in there I thought I heard someone say that it's only open 16 hours a week. Was that at least 16 hours? Is it open the same as it is now?
Well, it's going to be, we're going to have to change that a little bit, and I would say you'd be surprised that in 6 months how less the transfer station are being used.
I agree with that.
That's the minimum out there.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I think we're
Well,
probably
all
going
right.
to have to look at closing Sundays and probably about half a day on Saturday, to be honest with you. We're trying to make this thing work. So I can say it's probably gonna be open at least 5 days a week.
Okay. Curious also, there's a nuisance or somebody might get a citation, they have 7 days to cure. If a guy's working, be nice, if a guy's working, he might not be able to cure that in 7 days.
We'll work with it.
There's no provision that I heard in the
You
document.
know, we try to use common sense.
Well, yeah.
I promise you, as long as I'm here, you know, somebody's trying.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then one other thing I was kind of curious about was the money is going into the general fund. If there is a surplus, what will you do with it?
Well, that's something that's going, you know, our budget is made down to the end of July, the end of June.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues that if the state will allow us to have a sanitation fund, we're going to put it in a sanitation fund like we have general fund, road fund. We're going to make a sanitation fund if the state has a code for that. And then all the money's going to be dumped in there, and it'll be line item where it goes.
Well, you get Keenest maybe to explain this a little more thoroughly, more clearly, but as I read the statutory scheme, you can't use this money for anything else.
Not unless we earmark it. Now, I think we should earmark this money for the garbage. And that way we can't use it on this other stuff. It goes strictly for the garbage, not like it under B&O tax. Come in here and use it for the garbage and then throw it out. I think we should earmark this money for the garbage.
Well, as I read the statute, and I would defer to Keenest to comment on that, you can't use it for anything else.
Right, if we earmark,
I think you can if you earmark it, you can.
Well, then it becomes a
Not earmarked,
tax.
Because you're going to have other expenses with this besides.
Oh, no, relative expenses, yeah. Relative expenses, yeah, whatever that is, billing.
I don't know what all that would be.
Well,
Well, I can tell you right now that we're going to be real lucky to get 500. It cost us in our last full fiscal year, it cost us $587,000. That's not counting the cost for people that's working in the county. That's not counting that. That's just the hard cost. It's $587,000 last fiscal year, which ended June 14. But we're going to be real lucky to collect that money.
I understand you'd be wonderful to break even. I understand that, honestly I do. But if you do have a surplus, what is the intent of the court?
We have a surplus. My best suggestion would probably be if we needed work done on the transfer station, new compactor,
Illegal dumps.
Huh?
Illegal dumps, which,
Illegal dumps, or a little smaller compactor truck where we're picking it up. That would probably be my suggestion to the court.
I don't care if you have a surplus, I would just prefer that it stay within this system. Okay, now, one other thing, and I'll hush. You talk about outside picker-uppers. In Lawrence County, they have Lawrence County people picking up in different districts for $16 a month. Lawrence County people.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
some of them,
30-some miles closer to the.
They have to haul it to Greenup too.
Yeah, but they have to go all the way to Martha to get it. You know where that is? You can't get there from here.
Home health, they're closer to.
Oh, yeah. Something was said, I don't know which one it was, said something about the elderly getting a discount. So that's not
No,
in there.
it's the income level,
Income level, so sorry.
income level, sir.
Okay, James Ward. Kim Markham.
I have a question about the $10 you're talking about. You said it'd be $10 pickup for the low income. Now, will that be for the pickup, or just will it be $10 for you to haul it off
Either
yourself?
way.
Pick it up.
Either way.
Well,
Either
when it's
way.
picked up, it'll be $10.
Okay, and then what about, we're leaving our senior citizens out. Even, some of them, y'all might have income, maybe a little over 1,000, but you need to consider them too.
That's not been addressed, but I can tell you, like over at Apple Valley, theirs is $12.75 a month, and the senior citizens is like 75 cents off, is $12 a month. But, you know, that's a thing that we can look into too.
Well, I think if we're gonna give the low income $10 a month, the senior citizens ought to get it for $10.
James Ward?
James O. Ward or James Ward?
James Ward.
That would be me.
All right.
All right, just a couple of questions, honestly. First off, what about nonprofit organizations such as churches and things like that? What about their fee? Would they be a fee to them?
It's not it's not been addressed, but somebody did ask me about that. And you know, most churches around here, the members take care of the garbage, so the members will be paying the fee anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Understand that?
So I think we add to the water bill.
No.
Okay, so churches will be exempt from the water bill payment on that, then they'll be,
No, it won't be on their water bill.
okay. And someone asked something the other day about this around there. What about the incinerator program they built several years ago to handle our garbage?
There you go. We looked up, no, it's not the EPA now.
Oh, who is it?
We've seen some old minutes. You know, I've been dealing with them for 12 years. I've listened to the Dog and Pony Show for 12 years. But to look at the old minutes, they actually come to court first in 2000. So we're going on 15 years now. I've been dealing with them for 12 years, and it's another story. I don't think it's ever, personally, I don't think we'll ever take a drop of garbage up there. I mean, now they say they're rebuilding it. So,
Put no one here from that organization.
put a garbage technology tax on it. Well, we could do that, and we will look at that, but they keep changing the game on us. And it would be, we spent what was it? Just on tipping fees alone, we spent $167,000. That's just the tipping fee, that's not the trucking. That's just what we paid Apple, Green Valley to take it. And you could see what a savings, how much we could lower our fees if they was taking the garbage because they have a contract paper for it.
One more question. You all address low income. I fall below low income. I'm personally unemployed, attending college. I still have a home. I have people help me pay my monthly bills. $10 a month would make the difference between being able to get out and go to the garbage dump myself, or being able to get out and go to church, or this, that, and the other. What about those who have no income?
Well, you know, like I said, it's hard to satisfy everybody.
I know it's hard to satisfy everybody.
I mean, and this right here, we have figured about 75% collection, okay? The 75% collection, it's going to be real close to break even. Anything we get above that, we're going to be way ahead of the game. Now, I've heard some people say, and I don't know where, but you can't figure on 75%, you got to figure on 100%. Well, you know, we've been doing this for months, and I've checked with all my fellow county judges, and they say you better figure on 75%. Letcher County, they collect about 75%.
There's no saying. Always hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
That's exactly right.
And, shoot, there was one more there. I'm trying to remember what it was now. But, just it's one of those things for the people. I mean, it's going to be tough to eat. But there is one other thing I do like to point out, and like everybody to think about. The thing about anything that becomes mandatory, whether it be this, that, or the other, once something is mandatory, it always takes an increase. Whether it be 5%, 10%, 100%, it's always an increase. So, that's about all I got to say on it.
Thanks, James. Floyd David, I seen him leave. Did he come back? Roger Smith. Your name's on here, so you stand up and speak, son.
Oh, well, I do have one thing. What about the containers that are going to be placed by your home? Where do we get those and what do they cost?
Well, we haven't addressed that, but most people have containers now.
I think you just use a garbage bag, you don't pay.
Right now, you can just take garbage back down there.
Okay, what about stray dogs getting that?
Well,
Don't put it out, though. That's what they.
don't put it out the night before. So right now, Roger, it's just garbage bags. Bradford Priest,
What about these elderly people like barely, get their garbage outside? I know a lot of these trash people, they want to sit at the bottom of the driveways.
Yeah.
But what about these people that can't?
those will have to be done, if I'm not correct, Ken, there'll have to be paperwork signed for us keeping people getting on private property.
You can't go unless they get it.
That goes into the size of your truck, and several things like that. I don't want a 5-ton truck on my driveway.
I only.
I don't blame you either. I don't
I
either.
thought that ordinance said you go private.
It says you can go up to it, like your driveway, not in the curb.
Rodney Step,
Like going to the house, she said to help go
I want
to
to
the
ask a question like about the money that the county has been paying for years for our, to go to parks. And our county ain't done nothing to our parks, maybe cut the grass. Where's all that money going?
what money?
It's $200,000 is in your all's paperwork. That's been, that showed everything, what cost is everything. That's per year.
Well, I can state, I know at Warfield Park, we put a brand new set of bleachers in, that was $10,000. Concrete underneath those set of bleachers, we put a brand new T-ball field.
Which one?
Warfield Park.
Well, guess what? I'd say Warfield Park's the best because all the other parks are nothing.
We put all new bleachers out there. We had the field, the front field there, that's now the softball field. We invested $8,000 in grading that field and getting that field ungraded and all the drainage and everything. I mean, you were just asking what.
Yeah, but that's good.
I'm just
So all the
asking the
money,
question as far as like what I've done at Warfield Park,
all the money goes to Warfield Park?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know what it's like with their money as far
Look
as
at the one down here across from the trash place. Nothing. It's been built there when it was first built.
Right.
What have they done? They've cut the grass.
All I know is what's happened at Warfield Park,
Right.
or what the improvements are down there.
So it's gonna be $18 and y'all pick it up and then we can deliver it too, right?
Yeah.
Or $15 and
We leave.
haul it ourselves,
I think that's all, it's fine.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just saying, there's this money from the county that's saying this, and it ain't all this. Where's all that money going?
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't think we got in our budget anywhere $200,000 for the park. Somebody would have to show that to me and Linda here.
Yeah.
I don't know where that figure's coming from.
Well, I mean, it was from the newspaper that they put how much, like,
Well, that's your
how much
first
the sheriff.
That's your first mistake. If you want to ask a question about the budget, you need to come see me. I can show you every line item, every part, and not go with what's in the paper. So just come see me tomorrow and I'll show you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Anything else? Eugene Young? You? Oh, there he is.
I'm here. You talk about outside vendors and contractors and this and that. I don't believe in contractors coming from Alfred County. I think our county should hire our own people to do the work.
Good for you.
You got guys that needs work in this county. I got guys every day calling me wanting a job. People knows what I do. I'm a small businessman. This with the water department. What's the water department charging us to handle this fee for the garbage? I'm sure they ain't gonna do it for nothing.
They charge it.
Huh?
$1.
$1 is all they're gonna charge.
Yeah.
That's
$1 bill.
Per bill.
Per bill.
They pay that, they do They pay the mailing and everything.
So,
Have they not agreed to that, Judge? And the court that has previously given you authority to contract them for that amount. Is that not correct?
so why get the water department to take care of it when you can't, when you can't go ahead and have another department and hire more people on?
Well, that is why this is a work in progress. We may look at that. You know, right now, we couldn't afford to buy the software and everything that's already in place up there. You know, so there's going to be the postage on each one of the bills, and that, I think their cards cost 30 cents. If they do something different, you know, that postage would go up. But right now, it's in the best interest of this county to do that, and, you know, we'll look at that. You know, they've been one of the biggest advocates of that, to say, you know, we can do that for $1 and hire a person.
That's what I've told them several times.
That's what I've said. I think we should do it ourselves.
So, then, my next question, you said $18 a month for pickup, $15 if you take it yourself. If you miss that date of pickup, because of work, because a lot of us do work, you know, you're going to be able to take it to the dump and not be charged extra.
Yeah.
Take it anytime you want to, or any amount you
There'll be
want.
no charge extra on $18 a month. Okay, now, what about these contractors that comes out of state that hauls garbage in?
Anybody out of state, we're going to sell garbage bags to or turn them away. If they ain't got a garbage bag that says Martin County Sanitation on it, and those bags are $3 a piece. If they come in there from out of state, out of county, if they ain't in that garbage bag that says Martin County Sanitation, they'd be turned away.
Okay, now what about your contractors that works in the state? If they have garbage, say they do a job for Victor Sloan, to go in and reconstruct his house and has garbage to haul off.
Yeah, that's going to be addressed when we be able to get a set of scales to run them across those scales, and there'll be a price per pound probably.
Cubic yard, I believe, where they measure.
Well, they met some people if they don't have scales up.
I know Pike County charges contractors like $10 a trailer load or a truckload. You know.
That's something that will be determined whether we do it by cubic yards or we do it by weight by going across that scale.
Does the county have garbage trucks now?
No. We have roll-off trucks now, but we're going to start out picking it up in pickups and stuff like that. Greta Ward.
Most of my issues have been addressed already. I was concerned about the lien on the property, and I thought there was excessive, you know, fines, the amount there. But when will this become, I know you've got, this is the first reading, when will this become?
It's going to be advertised in, we have to advertise 7-21 days, you know that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in 2 papers.
When are you looking at the?
Probably March the 1st.
Probably, the bills will go out in March.
Yeah.
End of March, it starts March the 1st.
But I just ask that you all, you know, consider the people, you know, I'm glad you've changed the ordinance. That I had a real huge issue with that, and I'm glad you guys looked at that and redone that. But do you think if ever you guys do get in better shape, you will be lowering that price?
That's why that's actually why it's 18 and 15. We based it on 75%. Now, if we get 75%, we're going to be real close to breaking even. Now that was figured on 17, so we're a little different figures now. So yes, when we
So
get
that's
if we get us a good running total and we're collecting enough or more than enough, which I hope it is,
right,
we could come in and lower it down. I would much rather come and lower it than raise it.
Right. Okay. Well, I thank you all and I appreciate it.
All righty, thank you, Greta. Tom D-Long.
Kelly, I had a whole lot to say, but I most of it been answered, so. But on the garbage jar, I can stand what's going on, I guess, yesterday, so. But I'd like to pay my bill in the judge's office when I pay it. I don't want it added to my water bill or property bill. I'd like to come in and pay it
You probably have to stop at the water company and pay it.
Or,
Right now.
why should we pay the water company $1 a bill? If it's 4,000 houses, that's, what, $2,000 a month? If we're gonna pay that?
$4,000, and hopefully that will
Well,
change.
we're hopefully that'll change. Now,
We could hire some, 2 or 3 people and run the office.
the problem we have right now, we don't have the infrastructure right now to do that. And we're gonna have to buy computers, software to be able to calculate all that stuff, and that stuff costs a tremendous amount of money.
That kind of money though, we'll never get to where we can get the other stuff to run ourselves. That's a big waste.
Well, if we collect enough money, we'll be able to switch it and do it ourselves if we can see that we can buy the program, the hardware, and the software, and be able to hire a person with the fringes and everything that the county has. That adds up quite a bit.
That's a big waste right there. You look at it and it is.
Excuse me, Kelly, I forgot to ask something while I was up. The people that were laid off, will all those be brought back?
Most of them will be brought back, but not real soon. It'll
Not real
probably be
soon.
so
Will
we
it
start
be
getting
after
some
the-
money in.
After the, thank you.
Danny Sparks,
You done answered all my questions, Kelly. I don't need to talk.
where you at?
Inside.
Oh, he's a FedEx man.
Yeah, I come from work. Believe it or not, I work.
Let me take you to place me, Kelly.
All right.
25%, what are you gonna do about the 25% that don't pay?
Well, that's gonna be a
Nobody
problem.
ever mentioned anything about
That's
that.
gonna be a problem because Phoenix is gonna check into how we can collect those.
We're gonna try to get our sheriff involved, we're gonna try to do it, especially if they litter, they throw it out, we're gonna do their job.
Andy Sparks.
That's all over the county. I mean, you look at our hollers and our
I
creeks
agree
now.
with you, and hopefully this will stop it when people pick it up at your house.
Andy Sparks.
So when you throw it out, but they come up and show you to pick it up.
Andy Sparks is not here.
You let the bird eat how good it's all.
William Cox.
Yes, I was kind of, some of the questions I had's been answered, but like on the B&O tax, I thought when that was initially instated, it was for the garbage only.
Well, not necessarily garbage on it, because it did create a little more money. But then, you know, when you go to thinking about the B&O tax and the garbage, you've got to ask yourself, do you want to continue a free garbage service, or you want to be able to take care of your fire department, your senior citizens? Now, my thing is, take care of your senior citizens and your fire departments, because you let your fire department say, here's a 7, you let them go to a 10, it's no fire service, because they don't have no money, their insurance is going to be way higher than any garbage bill you'd ever pay.
Right, I understand that, but.
Another thing too, part of the money, when we done occupational tax, that's not one of my favorite things, but I was part of that. But part of the money on that was used, for sheriff's deputies, part of it for the parks. We done a lot of different things with that money to start with. Then as the coal service went down, it dwindled down, but we didn't have the money to do with. You know?
Okay, now it's like you say, you're gonna have the water company to send the bills to whoever the water's name's in, is that how it's gonna be?
Right, water company's going to do the billing.
See, I don't live in the county.
Yeah.
And I have 2 water meters here.
Yeah.
My daughter lives here, you know, I pay her water bill. And I have a young man that lives down there that I take care of, and I pay his water bill. But am I supposed to pay those water bills, or the garbage bills, plus my B&O taxes that I pay for working here?
Those 2 houses, are they generating garbage?
Well, yeah, they do, but I mean, they should be responsible, not me.
Well, that is your problem.
How would that be my problem?
Well,
You're allowed to live there, you can put them out.
Right, but I mean, okay, if you take your 25%.
It took me 8 months to get them out.
Well, you take your 25% that you're talking about that you can't collect money on, or whatever. You know, what's the purpose there? I mean, you know, if they're gonna get by with it, you know, why?
That's true.
Why do I don't even live in the county, I pay a garbage fee where I live. Each month, they come pick my trash up. I don't drop no trash off up there. the people that occupy this place. I mean, it should be their responsibility. It shouldn't be mine. I mean, how, you know, if I can't, you know, I can't give it to me, well, then I'm stuck paying.
Are you renting the houses too?
But we're not
Are
responsible.
you renting the houses out?
I'm renting the apartment, the house my
What I
daughter.
would do, if I was charging $300 a month for rent, I'd go up to $318 a month.
You can't get that sometimes.
Here's the problem, you have people coming in telling you, it's just like you have these elderly people and stuff that has a low income. You know, a lot of the people, they can't afford it. I mean, you know, then who's gonna pay it?
If it's
They're
not
gonna eat or they're gonna
occupied,
give
sir,
it to
you don't
me.
have to pay it.
Well, are they gonna eat or they're gonna give it to
Well,
me?
if they, no, I'm saying.
If they had to pay
your
it to
apartments
you-
are not occupied, but if you're leasing one and letting your child like me, I'm gonna pay for my child because I know, I let her live there. I know she generates garbage. I have a duty. I'm gonna help take care of my child like you're taking care of yours.
Right, but I
If
mean,
it's a renter though, that renter's gonna pay it, or I'm gonna put him out.
well, the
If
thing
the renter,
is,
if the renter receives a water bill, they'll also receive a trash bill as well, so.
The renter
they
will
should-
receive it first.
They should receive it first.
another question though, are you going to prosecute the 25% that doesn't?
I'm gonna try my best.
Also,
I'm not gonna pay my bill unless you get by not paying yours.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, it's kind of,
I pay mine, and you know what, I think anybody, if they can afford it, should pay. You know,
Right. Well, I understand that. I mean, I have no problem with that.
That's why we're coming up this figure. You know, this is our county. Well, you know, you don't live here.
Right.
I live here and I live.
right.
You know, we're trying to help this county.
I understand that.
And if we get better shape, guess what? They can come back, they can amend this and lower the rates.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not griping about the price that you're charging. I'm just
But we get
griping
to-
because
You're the owner,
here,
you're the one who's putting the people
well,
in
with the
there.
B&O taxes and then the two bills that I'm gonna be receiving, I'm up to almost $100 a month for trash that I don't even use.
Let's see, I got.
Well, let me ask you this, let me ask you one question.
question.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, say those two houses was in Paintsville, okay?
Okay.
What would you pay?
And you worked in Paintsville, okay? Those two houses be responsible for the garbage, and you would be responsible for them. And as you worked in Paintsville, you would pay 2 occupational taxes. You would pay 1% to the city and 3/4% to the county. And you would pay on everything over there if you lived in Paintsville.
Well, on mine, I pay with my water bill, my water, my sewer, my garbage, my gas bill, everything comes in one lump sum. I pay 12 something, $12.50 a month for the garbage.
It's franchised out over there too.
Paintsville?
It's the city picks it up.
City pickup in Paintsville.
The city picks it up.
City pickup.
And if I have any big garbage or something I can lay in my yard out there, and they'll stop by and pick that up.
Well, you know, I'm not worried about what they're doing in Paintsville. I'm worried about what we're gonna do here.
Well, I understand that, and I do too. I do too. But the thing of it is, it's not fair for people to pay the B&O and then them be responsible to collect the money just because you're paying the water bills for these people, that you're responsible.
You know, wish I was here.
Each person should be responsible for their sale, is what I'm saying. Everybody should be responsible for their sale.
Don't tell Obama that.
And when the B&O was enacted, you know, there was other issues as well. We had an extreme amount of debt service. You know, we couldn't get fuel, we couldn't get parts. We couldn't get anything because of our extreme amount of debt that we had. We had a lien of $263,000 on our after-hours clinic that had to be addressed. So it's basically the same choice we have now. You know, it's raise revenue through taxes, which no one wants to do, or it's make everyone pay a fee for their garbage, you know, which makes it fair for everyone across the board.
Right. Well, I understand it. Like I said, I have no problem with paying the taxes or whatever. That's like, I told about my last year's water bills that I paid on those two properties. I spent over $3,000 for water bills because of leaks or whatever, you know. But I had to pay that. I paid my B&O taxes, cost us anywhere from $40 to $60 a month. You know, then like I said, the water bills and stuff, I don't mind to pay it, but I think each person ought to be responsible for their own safety.
That's why we got the penalties and everything in here that we have.
You're the one that allowed them in there. And you're renting it, you know, don't you understand? You know, and I understand, I sympathize with you, but that doesn't change it. You're ready, one, you said.
I would like to put the properties up for sale if somebody wants to buy them. I mean,
Tell me where it's at.
I told them exactly, sell. I didn't really buy them. You gotta make payments on stuff that you
Yeah,
own.
somebody take you up on it.
You know, you gotta pay payments.
That's the homeowner has to pay no matter if it's rented or not.
Oh, yeah. Anything else, Will?
No, I guess
That's everybody that's on the list.
Hey, Judge, that must have been me on there, Andy Sparks. Somebody need to get my name right. My name's Andy Duke.
Okay, Andy, Duke.
What you fellows has done, I've studied about that, and I've talked to several different people about it. And I think we need to keep our money in the county, like I said the last time. I don't think we need to put the money in mandatory garbage. And on this, where you're weighing your stuff, won't you just charge so much for each trailer, so much for each truck?
Well, that's what we talked about when we said cubic yards. You know, where you measure.
You know what I'm saying? You may not even have to get into that. You may not even have to buy a big weight thing.
Right.
You know the thing about it?
Our money is going to Greenham County right now.
I've got two daughters sitting right here.
We're paying it to the
Their water
landfill.
bill's in my name. If they don't pay their garbage bill, they won't have no water bill. You know the thing about it?
Andy, I'd like to address something you said there. You know, you said keep our money in the county. Our money is going to Greenham County right now to the landfill. So
Yeah, but-
regardless, we're not keeping our money in the county.
Some of that money, I agree with you, some of that money is going.
Greenham County.
But if they wrote this thing up on the hill up here, we don't have to worry about greening.
That's exactly.
We'll take care of it all together. I'm just like Kelly, I've been in this court meeting almost 25 years. In 20 years of this out here, this place is opened up here.
We have a
It
contract.
ain't opened up yet, but one thing about it, we've got 4 magistrates sitting here and a judge and a county attorney.
We have a contract.
You know the
with
thing
that
about it?
facility to take our
They
garbage
folks
for
that
free.
represent us. And they are representing us. You know the thing about this evening? They could hire mandatory garbage and get rid of it. But they're trying to help this county. If, it's like my daughters, I'll go back to them again. If they don't pay their bills, they need to, county attorney need to work on it. But you know the thing about it, he'd be working on me because it'd be my name crossed. You know the thing about this? It's time we need to move up. It's time that people need to do what the Lord, you know, the Lord's in this way tonight. This is the Lord. You heard the brother speak out a while ago. Do what the Lord wants you to do. You know, if I've done a lot of things on my own and I want to do sometimes, it's hard to say what I do. You know the thing about this evening? This is a God-fearing county. And we need to keep it that way.
He said help your
And one
brother.
thing about it,
Chip in.
don't worry about the next judge. Worry about getting through this. You know the thing about it? I may run for square next time. I don't know what I may run for. I may be dead and gone. Maybe gone to heaven. But one thing about it, if I am, just come on and see me in my new home. But one thing about it, you know what? My mom, she draws around $800 a month. This $10. How many hamburgers do you throw the hill? Look at things, people. You know the thing about that, Wire County's going to be gone. And I'm going to tell you, and several people out here in this room out here heard me say it. If you don't watch this county, it's going to be Johnson County. If you don't do something while you can. You know, common sense tells you. Name 2 mines or 3 mines in this county. Coal severance tax, what kept this going for years and years. Now, we've got to step up. We've got to do something.
We got to find a new way.
I'm going to hush. I'm going to get out of the way. I got to go.
Andy, I'd like to say one thing real quick while you're standing there.
But I'm not
You
the
don't
mandatory
mind.
garbage. You talk.
I know, I'm not talking about that, but you talk about this facility up here. We already have a contract with that facility. If they take household garbage, they have to take our garbage for free, plus they will pay us 6% of any other tipping fee. So we do have a contract with that facility. It's just not like we're letting them, go or off the hook. So we do have a contract with them. It's been worked out. If they get operational, they will take our garbage for free, which would eliminate any kind of fee that we basically need, or reduce it down to nearly nothing. And I wish they would, become operational. So we could use that facility to get rid of our garbage, get rid of this price.
Yes, sir. What's your name? What is the holdup with this facility up here if they cannot do this? I've heard, well, they can't make it work.
It's a personally owned
Most of the people in
company.
here know me. I've done stuff all my life. Oh, you can't do that. That can't be done. But you can if you work at it.
What'd they tell you, Kelly, they have to do? You tear it
Hey,
down to get it?
I don't understand everything I need to know about it, but
And I've got one other thing.
it works when they run it right now, but evidently they're gonna tear it down and build another one. I don't understand why, baby.
Kelly, they haven't been able to meet our quality standards. That's basically it. Won't get licensed.
That's why I said ergo EPA.
Well, it's not EPA.
I would like to know.
It
Who
depends
controls
on
it?
which
Who
way the
tells you
smoke
that
is
you got
blowing.
too much
You want
stuff
the
in there?
coming
Ain't
here and
Kelly?
not knowing what's in it.
I've got one other thing. You
All right,
mentioned
go ahead.
the hours, the facility, the dump will be open out here. I live there and I pass it relatively often. I come through there a lot of times on Monday or on a holiday.
Yeah.
There's junk piled up on that fence. That needs to be stopped.
Yeah, we're gonna put
Those
some
people that
cameras
work there, like us, they need a day off occasionally.
I agree.
And they should not have to come in there and pick up for 2 hours just to
Right.
get
Three
to where
the
they
last
stop.
That's littering, and that's littering, that's addressed in here. They cannot do
It
that.
needs to be, because I heard somebody ask about stray dogs and what have you. If that stuff, who's protecting it?
There's gonna be a surveillance camera, and I think you also have a deputy lives out across the road.
And they have to work, he said, 3 hours before they even get started to do their job. Because that's got to be stopped. It's going to be.
Somebody asked, what we're gonna spend the money for. One thing we have discussed is for surveillance, cameras at the facility so that, we can see who's coming in there, along with the names in the bag. If somebody's just got a name in the bag, they can say, well, I didn't take that down there, so.
Getting back to this incineration program up here, that would be the finest thing ever was.
If it was
But we
safe
need
and
to find out
stuff, they
why they
could.
cannot make it work.
I wish they would.
Yeah, if it's our quality, they make a filter.
I may invite them to our next court meeting, see if they'll come and explain that stuff to us.
Very important point that nobody's addressed it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Some people like some of this, some people like none of it. There's people that recycle, don't need it at all. Then, the main thing is, that flag, and I'm proud to be an American. Forcing somebody to do something is communism. I'm against it.
Hey,
Want to be forced?
let me ask you a question. What makes our county any different than every county in the United States? I can't find one that's free. They ain't out there.
We're free Americans. That's why the elected officials are there right now today trying to figure out how to do this.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Ronnie Lee.
Yes, my name's Debbie Blevins, and I live in the city limits. And my mother is 86 years old, and she lives in the city limits. And I'd like to know the people that lives in the city limits and they get their garbage picked up by the town boy.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to that?
Well,
They'll pick it up cheaper for them, $10 a month.
Yeah, she'll probably get the $10. And, it's a city, that's a free service over there, the city offers, and she'll be fine. Oh, Ron?
There's a couple things I have just to think about. When y'all bring this back for the second reading, would you, and I'm sure Linda really likes me for this, but could you have this more laid out where you say, well, I believe this will be this? Like, if I bring these 10 people, have a business plan together so you know exactly what we can do, and let people know what we can do.
So you're talking about the cost?
Yeah, the cost, because, and have it to where it's sustainable. If it's not sustainable, it's not a good deal. And I mean, that gives y'all something. And then in that token, and I looked at Facebook last week, nah, that's not Martin County. That's just not it. But I looked at it and I said, these guys, last spring, we had a meeting up here, and Dream Martin County as a dream speech. Hey guys, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're moving forward. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Jay, I got something to say, if you don't care, please.
Yeah.
Mike Williams here. I've heard everybody talking about this man, you know, picking up the trash at the residence, but I haven't heard how you're gonna do it yet. We don't have the trucks. I know we don't have the trucks, they used to work for you. We don't have the manpower to do it because you let 10 of us go. So how are we gonna do it? I mean,
We're gonna
that's,
hire some
I'm
of
just
them, we're gonna
asking.
hire some of them back, and we're gonna use the pickup starting out, when we start getting some revenue, we're gonna be buying some trucks.
If I get to the transfer station, aren't you, and transport it up there?
That's all I was wanting to know, is how we gonna do that when, you know, you let 10, like you said, you let 10 of us go. We've only got a limited amount of pickups already with salt shakers in them. We have to take those out to take care of the trash.
It don't take 5 minutes to take them out of there.
Well, I know that, but it's just that.
And you're only gonna use them for 1 day a week.
What about these fellas? How about me, John, how come I can't haul?
Buddy, I'll hire you for it.
You gonna haul?
Anybody else gonna have to
I
have
think
two
you ought to haul
people?
one of these stations.
I also said you're gonna have to have 2 people at the
You're right.
transfer station, correct?
Each district, each register does.
Is that what the ordinance said, 2 people?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do that.
That's all I have.
I've got one other thing, you got a lady sitting beside me here. Where this garbage is piled out, you know, if you, like you're gone today, why couldn't they set a dumpster out somewhere where you can put that garbage in?
We had them before.
We had that once, BB. You remember what that was?
Yeah, I remember the problem.
People throw that and not in.
Take your cut back there, let it go.
People in Martin County, show Martin County more respect and pull the garbage out.
There you go. Right.
If somebody come by and throw your garbage out on your place, what would you do? You probably shoot them, wouldn't you?
Could I speak to this question?
Okay, we need to move on.
The 75% that you're basing it on, that's how you come up with the $18 figure? So then, the ones that pay the bill are paying the other 25% for the other 25%?
We hope that's not the
Now,
case.
is that the way it's gonna work?
No, we're gonna try our best to collect it. If it's small claims court or whatever it is to get that money collected, it's
Right.
not fair for the 75% to pay.
Right, but until then, we have to pay until you guys prosecute them, right?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get all the information back and get it in. You know, the water company has a good database of about 3,500 folks. And they're collecting on average about 3,000 bills monthly.
Right. The 2013 census said there's 4,449 households in
that's
Martin
right.
County. So that would be approximately
3,342.
It's on a well, right?
3,342.
And you guys are depending on them to come in and
Right.
say, volunteer to pay a bill.
Well, believe it or not, Tommy, I've had several come in and say, I'm on well water, I want to pay my fair share.
Okay, one more question. What was the total cost last year of this garbage? Do we have,
The total-
I've seen the
the-
budget in the
Okay, let me
newspaper.
tell you what, I've got that paper here.
Right, but the total cost last year.
Well,
that's-
the hard cost on our last fiscal year, which we're basically 7 months into this fiscal year, the hard cost was $587,000 our last fiscal year. Not including the trucks and stuff, and that was another 400 some thousand. So that was last year, last fiscal year. And this fiscal year, we're on track to be a little bit over that.
Okay, well, the math that I done, figuring on the census, at $17 a month, for each household, that's approximately over $900,000 a year that you guys.
That's 100% collection.
That's right, at 100%. So, in other words, you're trying to hit that mark on 75% of the people, right?
We have to figure on what we know.
Right.
We can't figure on what we can anticipate. We figured the price, now that was at the 17. Now it's 18, 15, and 10.
Right.
So this is going to be a real guessing game for the first 6 months.
One more thing, that's how I see it. To me, if you charged a lower rate, you would get more participation, more people would be willing to pay a lower price than what they would a higher price, and to me, you'd get a little bit more than a 75%
Well, we could very
You know
well
what I'm saying? But that's all I had to say.
All right, Tom, thanks.
Kelly, could I say one more thing? Yep. That's just like when they was speaking of the ordinance and stuff, you know, about fining people and stuff. I have 2 water bills in my name. If I take care of those 2 water bills, or whatever, collect for it, what about the rest of the people that's living in your properties that you don't have a water bill for? Are they gonna come and try to sue me to collect that money from them?
They're gonna figure out, that's what you're sending out a mailer for. You gotta put your name, address, how you want it either picked up or not. It's not just gonna be the people on the water bills.
Right, well,
We're gonna send out bills.
but am I gonna be the one responsible for it? Because basically you said I was with the water bills. I'm liable for that. Now, if they don't pay the bill, are you gonna come back?
Because you're rent, like you said, you're renting on the price, sir.
But what I'm saying though is, if I'm renting a place
Yes, you
to
can
somebody,
raise your rent.
why should I be responsible? And why should I take a chance on
I'm
having
trying to get
to
both of you. I'm gonna try to get both.
But that's still not right.
I'm not gonna tell you that I'm not gonna try to collect for the county, either one.
Will you be responsible if they kicked your walls in and walked off and left?
Yeah, and I have to go in and repair it myself. Because usually they don't.
Okay, I mean, it's the same difference, think about it. If you rent it, think about it. I mean, common sense, think about it.
That's true.
My daughter rents a place on
But here, the other one's the 25% like you were speaking of. It's not you pay.
But like he said, the attorney said, they're gonna try to get that
I'm gonna help my children pay their bill, because I don't wanna take myself.
Okay, anybody else? Got anything to say?
Kelly, I'd like to say something.
All righty.
Everybody's talking about how much their parents draw. My mother draws $741 a month. She pays a $20 pickup fee right now. You'll be saving her $10 a month by doing this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hope someday we can do it for free.
I'd like to say something, and I thank God we're alive, you know, we're debating over here.
We're on the green side of the grass.
Come and learn about stuff.
That's right.
I've got a little business over in Phoebe Trace Hollow, and where everybody's got laid off, the business is going broke. I'm gonna try to look down here up here on Blacktop. Do I have to pay $50 over there and then $50 there because I'm shutting that down?
No.
Can I get out of that?
No, one business, Harold.
Okay, praise the Lord.
I've got to say one more thing. There's not going to be, but a couple of people understand when I say this, I'm not mentioning no names, but we had an individual, now this is one side of the story, okay? We had an individual that represented to the state that they was helping the county to do research. Now, the lady responded back to Keenan's assistant and copied it to this individual. Okay? Now, where she had argued with her supervisors that, and it's not over yet, that this individual told her that he was working with us. That is probably right at this time as we speak, the only reason that she's kept her job today. Now, I just want to tell anybody in this audience that we don't appreciate somebody representing false representation of the county and these magistrates. It could very well have cost this girl her job. And I know the girl. She's a good gal. And when Lynette sent the email, and all of you know how lawyers are, they always have their little confidential thing on there. Now, Lynette was livid. You can only imagine a lawyer, something like that happened. She is in Florida now, and she's not here to explain what happened. I don't know if she shared it with Keenan, but I just want you to understand that did happen. And I'm not mentioning any names. but I just want you all to know what happened. And it's been a pretty trying time here for us and the EPA folks down to deal with this problem we have. I mean, it's going to go.
You had a Mrs. Clerk.
Huh?
You had a Mrs. Judge, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But I just want, most of the court knows what happened.
Is
but
there anything we can do about it?
Not at this time. We're not going to pursue it anymore because, you know, we really don't know both sides of the story. We just know one side of the story, and that's the end story. Financials,
Make a motion.
Second.
pay the bills. Make a motion to pay the bills. Second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion for cash appropriation transfer list.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
If anything else come up before, if not, we will adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
I'd like to say one thing before we adjourn. It's been said that everybody's got free garbage for 20 years. It ain't been free. Taxpayers has paid for it.
Amen.
That's all I got to say.
Occupational taxes paid for. Motion to adjourn.
Let me say one thing for you. I'm serious, thank you all for coming out, because remember, if you all show up, guess what? You ain't helping encourage. That puts people to work when they look at their employees over their shoulder. You all are our employees, we work for you.
And I think you ought to remember you guys at mental hall too when you're
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
Big guys,
You guys got any
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
I told you it's done.